So here we have one of the most accomplished military strategists in all of human history, the tactician who played a vital role in reuniting China under a single ruler, a legend with 100 million IQ, the man named Zhuge Liang. Unfortunately, he died without ever getting to see peace or tranquility during his lifetime. It wasn't until half a century after his death that China was once again reunited. And so, as his life is about to wither away, Kongming wishes that if he is going to be reborn, he'd rather be a more peaceful time. He died in the year 234 AD, but as the story of the anime goes, Kongming wakes up in the modern-day Shibuya. He is a younger version of himself, but has no idea whatsoever about where he's at. There's heavy music, dank lighting, and an extraordinary number of people just hustling around while dressed in weird clothes. It's pure, uncensored madness. As for Kongming, he wasn't familiar with any of this, so he uses his overpowered brain cells to conclude that he's in hell. In reality, it was just Halloween night. He walks around and soon attracts the attention of two cosplayers who ask him if he's Kongming. Hearing this, he respectfully introduces himself, but of course, they were just asking if he's cosplaying Kongming. On the other hand, Kongming wonders if they are both minions of hell. This sort of madness continues, but before long, he walks in on a small-time live concert taking place in a place called BB Lounge and is instantly taken aback. It was simply beautiful. The singer is a young blonde girl named Eiko. She gave a spectacular performance, but despite that, she seemed a bit down, wondering if anyone even heard her singing. That's when Kongming steps up and genuinely praises her without holding back. And considering Eiko's cosplay, he reckons she's a songstress of hell. That night was quite eventful for Kongming. He was dragged around by those two cosplayers through the entire night. And so when Eiko finally finishes her night shift and is on her way back to her apartment, she comes across a passed out, down and wasted Kongming in a street alley. She takes him back to her apartment. When he finally wakes up, he once again calls Eiko a songstress of hell. However, this time, there was a mirror in front of them. He takes a look and realizes that his appearance has gone back to when he was young. And then, using this idea, he reconsiders everything about this world in his head. Instantly, he realizes that this is indeed not hell. In fact, he's been brought back to life. Kongming states that it'd be fun to use his intellect in order to unify the people in today's world as well. Eiko is obviously as confused as I used to be during math class, which is why Kongming finally introduces himself and his name. Eiko asks him how he is planning on returning back home. He doesn't seem to have a smartphone or a wallet, and this time Kongming is confused. So she shows him her phone, and our boy Kongming just flips. It was unlike anything he had seen before. He makes her teach him the basics and then ends up discovering his own Wikipedia page. Talk about comical, but to Eiko, this was hysterical, so she asks him just how long he's going to continue playing this character. Anyways, when he dwells further into the Wikipedia page, he discovers what happened after his death. He was the advisor of Liu Bei, the man who formed the Shu Han dynasty, but unfortunately, Shu Han fell in the year 263, and how, even though the Sima clan unified the country, China continued to experience one turbulent time after another. No one could create a world without war. Now Kongming stands around 1,800 years into the future. There is no longer a face he can recognize. Eiko sees him gazing at the sky through the window and ends up cheering him up through her songs. Kongming tears up as her singing makes him recall the beginning of his calling as a tactician. He tells Eiko that her songs have the power to energize people, and then expresses his desire to broaden his horizons when it comes to music and this world. Now we're talking. She introduces him to the owner of the bar, where she works part-time, and quite conveniently, he just so happens to be a die-hard Three Kingdoms fan. This triggers an intense conversation that only the two of them could understand. And halfway through the conversation, the owner is pretty much convinced that this guy is indeed Kongming. He gets the job. Suffice to say, Kongming surprises everyone by performing his tasks immaculately well, as if he's a seasoned veteran. He has also already become familiar with how digital banking works. Their night shifts go well, and after that, he asks Eiko why she chose music. Eiko opens up and reveals how a few years ago, she was about to end her life. But the bar owner stopped her and then took her to this bar, where a special guest was going to perform a live concert. It was magical. She felt so moved that her desire to move other people with songs ended up overriding her suicidal impulses. That was her beginning, but the world of music is harsh, even though she keeps applying to audition after audition. She hasn't yet gotten a single opportunity aside from singing at the bar. She thinks about giving up. Maybe she doesn't have talent for singing after all. Kongming listens to her and then tells her to have more confidence. Her singing has offered salvation to someone who is standing right in front of her. She has the power to convey her feelings to others. He's convinced. Besides, if she quits, her fans would be sad. Aiko replies that she doesn't have any fans. And just then, a piece of soothing music lights up the background as Kongming stresses that she has one standing right in front of her. He then goes on to state how he has listened to her singing 3 times, and he couldn't help but think he'd like more people to be touched by her voice. He declares that he shall be her tactician. Whether her dream is to debut to gather an audience of 10,000 people, regardless of how difficult it may be, he will do whatever it takes to help her achieve her ambition. And after hearing him say something like that, Aiko's heart couldn't help but let go of all the depression weighing her down. She smiles and vows to do her best. As for her dream, it is to perform at the world's largest music festival, and this is the story of how Kongming helps her get on that stage. It's definitely going to be hard since the number of followers she has isn't even in the 4 digits, but this is Kongming we're talking about, the individual who has been continuously compared with Sun Tzu, the man who wrote Art of War. PA Works has done an extraordinary job of further elevating the source material. The anime is indeed a job well done. Not only when it comes to the vocals, they go without saying, but even the visuals and the presentation are a sight to behold. You can't help but feel uplifted. That is the kind of anime we're talking about. Kongming is a clever guy, but somehow manages to make the best of any situation and exceeds everyone's expectations. Aiko, on the other hand, continues to improve as a singer and an artist. The story eventually expands beyond just these 2 characters. The entertainment industry is harsh, but more than that, it is unfair. Watch how Kongming deals with it. I would add, though, this anime is first and foremost a music-themed anime. The strategies and the metaphorical nuances are all great, but they are presented in a macro fashion. This story isn't trying to make itself too serious, and maybe that's why it excels at connecting with the audience. It's silly, comical, yet oftentimes it's also quite sentimental and depressing. That is the kind of anime we're talking about. Now, what do you guys think of this anime? Have you watched it, or are you planning on watching it? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if it's the latter, why haven't you watched your boy Kongming? I'm telling you guys, you're gravely missing out. It's simply too pleasant of an anime to miss out on. Definitely among the most underrated ones this year. Alright, now if you liked the video and want me to do more of these, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It's always appreciated. Well then, I'll see you guys in my next video.